Good morning, everyone. My name is Suhitha Research, and I'm a senior and second year student in ISM. Last year I studied interventional cardiology under the mentorship of Dr. Paul Uri, but by the end of my mentorship I realized that I really love medicine, but I wanted to learn a little bit more about a different career, which is why I've chosen to take ISM again this year. And I've chosen to go in a completely different route, and now I'm studying entrepreneurship. Senator Charles E. Schumer of New York once said that the most beautiful thing in life is to be able to find a job that you're excited to wake up for on Monday morning and a spouse you're excited to come home to on Friday evening. But with entrepreneurship, you're not only excited to wake up on Monday morning, but you're excited to wake up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday morning, because you're able to commit yourself to something that you love so deeply. You're able to be your own boss. You get to report to yourself instead of a higher official. You can make a difference. But more importantly, you are controlling the direction of your dreams and have the opportunity to make a name for yourself by developing an idea from scratch and making it reality by leaving behind your legacy. So this is why I chose to study entrepreneurship this year. So before I dive into my presentation, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. This is my family, my mom, my dad, and sister, who are the three most important people to me and who always encourage and support me to follow my dreams. And then there are my friends who always bring out the fun and less awkward side of me. And anyone who knows me knows that I love One Direction. Their new album is coming out this Friday, so make sure you go out and buy it. So the first step in our ISM journey is to conduct 5 informational interviews with professionals in our field of study. So the first person that I interviewed was Miss Samantha Coletti, and I found her on the Dallas Entrepreneur Center website, and I saw that she held whiteboard sessions with entrepreneurs to talk about entrepreneurship. So I ended up having a phone interview with her and learned about her job as an investment banker. It was really interesting to learn more about the permission side to entrepreneurship and to see the requirements and criteria that are necessary for a business in order to be approved of a loan from the bank. So I really learned the importance of having a business plan and being organized as an entrepreneur and the steps that you need to take so that you can get the money that you need to start a business, because creating a startup company is really time consuming and is really expensive, so you really need to prove to the bank that your business will be successful. My second interview was with Mr. Joshua Meek, who I found by searching entrepreneurs in Frisco, and he was one of the first names that popped up as being Frisco's youngest entrepreneur of the year for 2014. And I really wanted to connect with him, so I asked Coach Goff to connect with him on LinkedIn, and I was able to set up an interview with him. And my interview with him was amazing. It was so motivating and inspiring as I learned about Mr. Meek's humble beginnings and how he grew up knowing that he didn't want to have to worry about where the next meal for his family would come from. And it was really interesting because he told me that he went to college for a year, and then he decided that he wanted to put in all of his time and effort to his business. And he went on to become a serial entrepreneur, and now he has several different small companies that he works on. And throughout my interview with Mr. Meek, it was evident how passionate and how knowledgeable he was about entrepreneurship. And I just really knew that I wanted Mr. Meek to be my mentor, because throughout my 45-minute interview, he dropped at least 10 inspirational quotes and books that he recommended that I read. And I just really enjoyed the interview, and I knew that I wanted him to be my mentor. And I'm so grateful to say that he is my mentor, so I'm really excited to start my mentorship with him. And my third interview was with Ms. Uma Datwa, who is an auditing manager and who is now the Chief Accounting Officer for Approach Resources. And she was also included in the 40 Under 40 list of Dallas for 2015. And I felt like I could really relate to Ms. Datwa because she told me how she moved from India to Paris, France. So it was such a big transition, and she really had to put herself out there and had to really submerge herself in the culture to be able to understand everything. And she ended up completing her master's degree at the NC School of Business. And she told me how she had to maneuver her way to get accustomed to the foreign culture. And she really emphasized the importance of being proactive and putting yourself out there and experiencing new things, because the experiences that you encounter are what make who you are. And she also recommended that I take several different classes in college so that I can find the different types of business that I'd be interested in. And my most recent interview was a phone interview with Mr. Yogi Patel, who is the COO of Newcrest Image, which is a company that constructs, manages, and operates hotels. And hearing Mr. Patel talk about hotels made me really interested in the hotel industry and made me want to learn more about them. His knowledge and command for the hotel industry was something that I admired very much, and I hope to have that same interest, and that I'm able to give off that same interest to others when I talk about the career that I chose to go into. And the thing that I really liked about all my interviews is that I learned something completely different from each of these professionals, because each of them was from a different sector of business. And originally going into my interviewing process, I wanted to learn about the different parts of business so that I'd be exposed to different things. And so the next part in our ISM journey is that once every week or every 2 weeks, we're required to do research and read articles about our field of study. And ever since I became interested in entrepreneurship, Elizabeth Holmes has always been a role model. The fact that she dropped out of Stanford University to follow entrepreneurship and to create her own startup company was crazy to me. And she had to work so hard and for 10 years in her parents' basement with no social life, no vacation, no TV, no nothing. And she ended up creating a $1 billion company known as Theranos, which is a device that tests blood with only a couple of drops of blood. Her hard work as an entrepreneur has earned her the title as America's youngest female self-made billionaire. And the second entrepreneur that I read an article about that really inspired me is someone that you all may know, Sheryl Sandberg, as one of the main faces behind Facebook. And reading her article made me feel even more inspired as I learned about how she dealt with not only being a mother and a wife and operating her company, but dealing with her husband's death. She never let that hold her back. She always submerged herself in her business and worked with the community, and to be like her would be a dream. But out of all the articles that I read, the one that stood out to me the most was about the evergreen movement or evergreen entrepreneurship. And reading this article made me decide that if I do become an entrepreneur, I want to become an evergreen entrepreneur. And according to this article, an evergreen entrepreneur is an entrepreneur that avoids anything that could put the viability and longevity of their business at risk and undermine its purpose. They measure success by how well they deliver their mission, not by a sale price, IPO buzz, or an investor's valuation. So they're basically entrepreneurs who think of the long-term impact and who focus on the community and people instead of focusing on generating revenue. So ever since I learned about evergreen entrepreneurship, this term has kind of stuck with me, and I just really became interested in it. So when brainstorming on what to do for my original work, I decided to combine what has interested me the most throughout my research. So for my original work, I plan to create a portfolio of 3 different sections. The first section will be composed of research on questions about evergreen entrepreneurship, including why some evergreen entrepreneurs fail, why some succeed, and why more people are not aware of it. And the second section will be composed of analysis on female entrepreneurs and the journey that they had to go to make their mark in a completely male-dominated career industry. And my third section will have to do with me identifying an issue and creating a product for my final product, and using the analysis that I find from my first 2 sections and combining it to create my final product. And the quote that I've chosen to guide me throughout this year is that faith activates God and fear activates the enemy. I've chosen this quote to remind me that it's okay to take chances and believe rather than being scared and holding back, because I found that being fearful often hinders you from reaching your highest level of success. And there's still so much left for me to do along my ISM journey, but this is only the beginning, and I can't wait to begin my mentorship and see whether or not entrepreneurship is the field for me. Thank you so much.